Is it possible to go from struggling with pike push-ups to full planche push-ups in under a year? Meet Joshua. In less than 1 year, Joshua went from barely being able to do a pike push-up, let alone a handstand, to holding a fingertip full planche and repping out full planche push-ups in just 10 months. You know, we've all seen those few month magical planche transformations that these coaches and gurus like to preach, not knowing their true validity or if the person is lying about it. That's why in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys everything with proof of timestamps and text messages to further solidify that this type of transformation is indeed possible and should not be overlooked. Before we get into everything, I want to make sure that I preface a few things. The first one being that I already made a video of the initial 5 months of this transformation 5 months ago. I have already broken down the full programs and text messages that I was exchanging with Joshua during the first 5 months of this transformation. So if you guys haven't already, go watch that video and then come back to this one. At the end of that video, I made a statement that I will now play. So I cannot wait to keep sharing Joshua's progress because he is going to continue to shock the world. Front lever touch, front lever pull-up, fingertip planche, planche push-ups. There's a lot of fun things in the works. I quite literally called the future. I said that Joshua would achieve the full front lever touch, the full front lever pull-up, the planche push-up, and the fingertip planche. Guess what? Fast forward 5 months later, he's achieved all of those things. And no, it's not luck, it's not speculation. You guys should know the drill by now. Every single YouTube video I have posted is of a different client, all making the same types of transformations consistently over and over and over again. I can teach anyone any calisthenics skill. It doesn't matter if you're completely new to calisthenics. It doesn't matter even if you're stronger than me. I can teach you any skill that you want. Now, let's get into the second half of Joshua's transformation. I'm going to start the timeline on December 31st of 2025, right on the new year. For the months of January and February, our biggest focus was teaching Joshua the full planche push-up. And so on screen, I'll throw up some text messages of me kind of explaining some of the technical side of things as it relates to the planche push-up. I was sending him a whole host of voice messages, sometimes sending him 15 minutes worth of voice messages at a time because I wanted to make sure that he understood these concepts to a very high degree. See, when it comes to very advanced skills like planche push-ups, planche presses, fingertip planches, there's an entire new layer of technique that the athlete has to understand in order to continue to make progress. You know, many people can achieve the planche, right? Achieving the planche is not that difficult. But progressing further beyond that, doing full planche push-ups and full planche combinations is an entirely different ball game that requires you to learn an entirely new set of technical elements. And so after explaining all these things in detail, we got to work. One of the first workouts that I'll throw up on screen will be time-stamped as January 22nd of 2026. At this point, Joshua's full planche still isn't that strong. He's managing to hold it roughly 5 seconds on good days. And so you'll see that from this text message, this is more of an intense type of session where, again, we're still putting the main focus on the actual planche hold, but now we're starting to derive further planche elements like full planche push-ups and working on full planche negatives to start getting him accustomed to the necessary head trajectory that he needs to have when it comes to his planche presses. Monday, January 26th, very similar thing going on. Except for this training, we are more biasing the push-up side of things. During this time period, Joshua's training was changing quite frequently because now that more movement patterns are into the mix, me as a coach, I have to keep track of each and every single one. If you guys are familiar with the super compensation graph that I was referring to in my SubMax framework video, this is where it applies heavily. In my mind, I'm trying to keep a mental note of which movement patterns are recovering properly and which ones are lagging behind. And so by doing this and analyzing his performance from session to session, I'm able to accurately prescribe the necessary movement pattern that is recovered so that we can continuously improve it. So for example, if his push-ups feel good a certain day, that's what we're gonna do. If his presses feel better a certain day, that's what we're gonna do. If his holds feel better a certain day, that's what we're gonna do. And so the programming gets quite complex here. That's why in comparison to my other YouTube video, the initial breakdown where he was on a program, now we're not on a program and I am texting him workouts day by day, because writing a program for this is nearly impossible. Now on January 29th, we're gonna examine more of a lighter session and see how those look. The last two sessions have been more kind of intensity focused. This one is gonna be more of a volume accumulation type of session. And so as you can clearly see from this training on screen, the bias is specifically on push-ups. Doing dead stop push-ups with a band at a low intensity and doing slow banded full planche push-ups at a low intensity. See, when it comes to the planche push-up, you have to actually ask yourself, what is the bottleneck? The bottleneck is transitioning from a bent arm position to a straight arm position and maintaining scapular protraction as you do so. And so as all of you guys know already, if you watch this channel, specificity is key, and that is why I prescribed the exercises that I did, specifically targeting the bottleneck of this movement pattern. And we can actually accentuate that bottleneck by doing this exercise slower. Slow full planche push-ups. This will allow him to get super comfortable in the movement pattern and thus make adaptations quicker. Now let's transition into February. Again, on screen, I'm gonna throw up another lighter session that we were doing. Same concept here. Really trying to drill that movement pattern into his central nervous system at a very submaximal intensity so that he can actually perform this movement with the utmost precision. And on February 11th, he got one of his first full planche push-ups. So at this point, I knew things were working, and so it was just a matter of rinse and repeating. Now, let's jump a few weeks and go to February 22nd. You will now see that the emphasis is more on presses, because Joshua at this point in time cannot even perform a straddle press properly. And so that signaled to me that his pressing strength is extremely weak compared to his push-ups, which of course makes sense due to the lack of specificity, but still, this kind of signaled some red flags, and so we got to work. February 24th, again doing many sets of planche presses, but also incorporating the dead stop push-ups because that was still a weakness of his. He developed a lot of explosive pushing strength out of the bottom, but had a hard time locking out. So I wanted to continue to further emphasize his two biggest links: the lockout of the planche push-up and his planche presses. As we get into March, we start to see the emphasis shift more into planche presses. Doing slow negatives, doing wide grip slow negatives with a band, including more variation to these exercises to further stimulate faster central nervous system adaptations. Like I mentioned previously, if you want to learn a skill the fastest way possible, it is in your best interest to include micro variations after prolonged periods of time. If you do not include variation in even the slightest way possible, you're going to plateau. The human body is designed to adapt to anything and everything. And so if you keep doing the same movement over and over and over again, the same exact way, the same tempo, you're going to stall in progress. This is something that both Soviet powerlifters preached back in the 1990s, as well as the Bulgarians. Including variation is key. That is why you see me prescribing wide grip stuff, slow tempos, fast tempos. All these little minute things and details that I'm adding to his workouts are not just for fun. They have a purpose and a reason behind them. This is why he progressed so fast. There is no one else in the calisthenics space who's gonna sit down in front of you like this, show you workout by workout by workout, time-stamped text messages, logically breaking down every single exercise and its selection, showing you a transformation where someone went from barely being able to do pike push-ups to full planche push-ups in less than a year. It's something that you cannot even argue with because all the proof is in front of you. I'm breaking down every minute variation, why I'm adding wide planche negatives, why I'm doing slow banded full planche push-ups at 60%, at 70%, at 100%. And guess what? It's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep happening over and over and over again. You guys are gonna keep seeing YouTube videos of different clients progressing at the same rates. You know, I wish when I was training calisthenics for the last 6 years, watching these useless YouTube tutorials oh, do a tuck planche, then do an advanced tuck planche, then do a straddle planche, and then you'll have full planche. You know, I wish I had someone like this back when I started, who could logically sit down in front of my face and articulate every single transformation, every single workout, show proof, and explain to me why his system works continuously. And you know, the funniest thing is, it's not even my system. It is the system for strength acquisition. I just simply studied powerlifters in the 1990s and early 2000s, more specifically Bulgarians and Soviets, examining their mesocycles as they prepared for the Olympics, and translating their training into calisthenics, migrating their exercises into calisthenic exercises while preserving the core systematic layout. That's all I did. That's why I'm so confident. I can teach anyone any skill. I have the cheat code. The cheat code's always been in front of your eyes. Except I'm just the crazy person who was too obsessed with calisthenics and was so fucking sick of watching trash YouTube tutorials, so I took it upon myself to actually learn the right way to train. And now, of course, I've developed my SubMax framework as a way to explain it to people who are not familiar with powerlifting, to people who are calisthenics enthusiasts, because that's a way that I can bridge the gap from powerlifting and what I learned from that discipline into my passion, into your passion, and help you make transformations like this. That's the whole premise of this YouTube channel, to give you all the information that you'll ever need to do the same thing. So please, pay attention, pause the video if you need to, read the workouts, and try to understand my thought process. Anyways, I'm gonna keep throwing up workouts on screen from March, where we kept keeping our focus on presses. You'll see that eventually we go from banded presses to doing straddle press attempts, to even doing momentum full presses, trying to target the press from as many different angles as possible. Eventually, following all of the workouts that I'm throwing up on screen, Joshua managed to get a full planche hold into a Deadstop full planche press with extremely clean form. In April, we started focusing on putting everything together, because in January, we focused on push-ups. In February, we kept focusing on push-ups, but started to incorporate presses. March, focus on presses. And then April, we started doing combinations, combining all of these different movements to try to perform them one after another, demonstrating full technical understanding and robustness when it comes to these movement patterns. And to no surprise, Joshua got 1-1-1 straddle planche, started repping out more full planche push-ups, doing more full planche presses, following all of the workouts that you see on screen. I'm going to keep just throwing them up, so feel free to pause the video, but I'm going to just keep sequentially posting the workouts, as if I were to sit here and break down my thought process behind each and every single workout that I wrote him, we would be here for 4 hours, okay? Because understand that every single day over the course of 5 months, I was texting him workout by workout by workout. And so on screen, I'm just gonna keep flashing workouts left and right to me. You can pause, read the timestamp, and you'll see that I have nothing to hide. I am the GOAT of this game. I understand this game better than anyone else in the space, and I'm going to continue to put out results like this. And of course, you're probably wondering, well, where's the fingertip full planche? Well, actually, funny story. Joshua was supposed to hold his first fingertip full planche back in March, but due to discomfort in his fingers, we decided to hold off and just focus more on planche combos. I told him actually this Saturday, you guys will actually see on the timestamp that it doesn't even say a date, it just says Saturday, because literally this last Saturday, I told him, bro, try fingertip full planche, and he held it first try. Because guess what, guys? Like I mentioned in my previous planche transformation, which if you haven't already, go watch it. I took Braxton from a bent arm planche to doing 1-1-1 full planche and doing a fingertip full planche in 3 months, which of course Braxton would start off way stronger than Joshua. I mean, Joshua literally struggled to do Pike push-ups. I actually throw up a text message on screen of him voicing his difficulty with the Pike push-up. Long story short, I told him attempt it, and he sent me this. So there you go, that's everything. And you guys already know if you watched the previous video. Fingertip floor planche is easier than normal floor planche because your arm literally becomes longer, making the movement easier. And it requires less wrist mobility. So it was just a given that he was gonna hold it. But yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm literally gonna, you know, on screen, I'm gonna show every single workout that I sent him will be on screen. I probably already threw it up on screen earlier. Look, I am making my clients stronger than me. And I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna teach Joshua Maltese. Just like in the previous video that I called the fact that he would learn all these skills. Just like I said that in the previous video, guess what? 1 year from now, you will see another video about Joshua and he will be holding a full Maltese. Watch, because I know how much I love this. I have an entire team I get to work with every single day. Every single day I wake up, I get to converse with 60 individuals who all are passionate about calisthenics, who all want to be the best version of themselves. I am addicted to this sport. I have dedicated my entire life to the sport. You know, everyone looks at coaching as a cash grab, right? Just an easy way to make money online. Use your head for 1 second. Why the fuck would I be texting my client a workout each and every single day when I can just write him a lousy program, send it to him, copy and paste it, and send it to everyone else? If I was truly in it just for the money, do you think I would be literally hand texting workouts to not just one person, but countless of clients each and every single day? Be for real with yourself. Oh, this fucking argument of people like, oh bro, but you're not even that strong. Bro, it doesn't matter. I have exposed coaches who can do 5-5-5 full planches. And they're writing programs like children, saying do 6 sets of full planches till failure. Do 6 sets of straddle planche till failure every day. Literally, we had a group call, a meeting about this, exposing one of the largest coaches in the calisthenics space for his absolutely fucking atrocious programs. It was laughable. And you know, I might make it public, in fact, because it's embarrassing. I mean, and you as the viewer, you're sitting there, you know, hoping that this super strong athlete can teach you. Bro, they can't fucking teach you. They don't even know how they got there themselves, you know? They cannot reproduce their results in other people. Why do you think I'm the only person in the entire space who's sitting down in front of you and talking to you like this? Why do you think? Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys got some value from this video and can further see how I implement SubMax into real case studies. I highly recommend going back in the video, pausing it, reading the actual workouts that I was writing Joshua, just so you have a more thorough understanding of everything that's going on. If you want a full comprehensive understanding of my entire thought process, watch all of my YouTube videos from the first one up to this one, and you will know exactly why I will continue to produce the results that you're seeing and why it will never stop. If you find yourself struggling to learn a skill like the handstand or more advanced skills like planche push-ups, front lever pull-ups, etc., then I highly recommend clicking the first link in the description below and filling out an application to work with me and be part of my team. I'm a full-time online calisthenics coach who's currently working with over 60 individuals, helping them one-on-one to achieve their calisthenic goals. But more than that, fostering a long-term relationship with them and teaching them everything that I know about calisthenics so that even after the coaching period is up, they can continue on their own. If you're genuinely serious about calisthenics and you want to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, then I highly recommend clicking the first link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys got a lot of value from this video. Make sure you guys check out Joshua's socials in the description below. I could not be more proud of him. Joshua, if you're watching this, man, next video is gonna be Maltese, man. Let's do it. Let's shock the world. I love all of you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.